running down to the mailbox really quick. I don't know if this is even going to record because it's inside of my purse. So, it probably will though. My mom was all secretive. She's like, I have stuff to, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I have stuff to throw away. I'm like, why don't you just throw it away in the garbage? She's like, I don't want to. And then I'm like, well, don't go out in the storm. And of course she disobeyed me and went out in the storm. Again, I know better. I can never predict what she's going to do, okay? Proof of that was I was gone all day yesterday. I was forced to leave because her nurse was coming in. I said, your shot's due, isn't it? When is the nurse going to come? And my mom's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, why don't you call him up and tell him that since we got no notice that you don't want it today, because the shot doesn't have to be exactly 28 days. But of course my mom didn't do that, and it's just angry. And then I can't get angry with her because she's so fragile and so mentally ill, not doing good at all, not even leaving the house. She's eating and drinking though, because she knows she'll land in a friggin' nursing home if she doesn't eat and drink. Okay? That's the bottom line. No one said it to her outright, but I think she suspects it. Okay? She wasn't expecting that social worker to be there, so she's being good and she's eating and drinking, but she isn't watching TV, she isn't listening to the radio, she isn't doing anything that allows me any privacy. So I was talking to Joe the other day outside the market after that asshole did what he did to me and left me shaking, left me filled with rage and tears and everything else. And I'm so sick of everything. Anyway, I told Joe, I'm like, I can't talk to you. She'll hear every word. She will hear every word, okay? She sleeps sporadically. There's no way to know when she's sleeping or not. She doesn't shut her light off. She doesn't listen to music anymore. She doesn't watch TV. She doesn't do anything that will drown anything out. Although I can run the washer and dryer and sit in there and she can't hear me. But basically that's that. That's what's going on. But yeah, of course I'm going to go out to the garbage. I want to make sure she's not throwing away something important. Not that her bowl was important, but I don't want her throwing away that perfectly good red bowl for no reason. So I got it out of the garbage. When I asked where it was, and she said she threw it away. I got it out of the garbage. I also got out of our garbage a sweater that you're not going to throw away a sweater, a perfectly good sweater we can give to charity, okay? But so yeah, I went to the garbage and there was nothing exciting, just ripped up pieces of paper. She thinks, and a lot of it was blank ripped up pieces of paper, but we have to watch out for her craziness because I told you one time at 3 a.m, she was insisting she was going to go out there in the dark, okay? We have coyotes, we have this, we have that, and you're not going out in the middle of the night. She wanted to go out in the middle of the night to get out of the garbage stuff she said she didn't mean to throw away. So I'm like, I will go and get it. And I went and got it, and when I opened it up, it was nothing exciting. It was ripped up pieces of paper. Okay? But I didn't want her to do it, so I did it. I put my fucking shoes and coat and everything on and went out to the garbage and got the fucking shit because she would have done it on her own. I don't want her going out. I believe it was a storm then, too. And today, she went out in the storm. She was like, it wasn't raining. And I only know she did it because she left the front door unlocked. But the whole point is she'll disobey me when I know that it's really important that she do something. So, something so simple. Yesterday, I called her and I said, can you just listen outside the door? Don't go near Omar, but listen outside the door. And, listen outside the door and tell me if he's crying or not. Because remember, he tips over and gets stuck and can't get up and then cries. She doesn't hear him crying. I'm like, don't go near him. Remember, I said, don't go near him. Don't go near him. I can't tell her to do anything. You can't predict what she's going to fucking do. So she told her, don't go near him. Just listen outside the door. See if he's crying. Simple, right? No, nothing simple with her. I was gone for hours. I came home and the cover to his stupid cheap playpen thing ripped. I think I told you that it came off, the whole zipper thing, so I have to cover it with a sheet or a blanket or something. I'd come home and almost covered with that blanket because she had peeked in on him when I told her don't go near him. I said don't go near him, just listen to make sure he's not crying. because that takes precedence. I mean, if he's sitting there crying, he could get really hurt. He could twist his neck or something. I would have her lift him up or whatever, and I don't want to. But she said he was fine, but she lifted that up. Did she put it back correctly? No. I come home and it's fallen on him. And that's not good. That could be bad. It was all right, but the whole point is she doesn't listen, and you can ask her to do one tiny thing, and you can't ask her to do anything, because then it messes up, you know? It's either stay away from her completely, or she's going to do something that she shouldn't be doing. So I can't win, you know? But we already know that, don't we? Yes, we already know that I can't win. I just thought of something. I'm thinking people are wondering why I'm talking to myself or whatever, but they don't know I'm not talking to someone on speaker. I forgot about that. I don't have to worry about that. So if InTouch doesn't come by today, they say it's supposed to come by Friday, and they always say you can call and get a new issue sent out if it doesn't come by Friday. So I give it a couple extra days, but I'm not going to give it a ton of extra days. Did it come? Nope, it didn't come. I'm sick of their shit. I'm sick of InTouch not coming. I'm going to tell them. I'm like, and all they're going to say is, we're going to extend your subscription. That's all they're going to say. That's all they're going to fucking say. We're going to extend your subscription. Which I don't want my subscription extended. I want to know why. I have no problem getting the Women's World magazine in time. Although it's Women's World. It's Friday and it's here today on Tuesday. Or what? So no InTouch. Anyhow. They always say, let us know if the issue doesn't come by Friday, and then they should send you out a new issue. InTouch, no, all they do is extend your subscription. It's not right. They should send you out a new issue, not to be suspending your subscription. I'm so sick of it. But we shouldn't be getting the damn magazine in the first place, so, you know. She's not doing anything anymore. She's moping around, but she's eating or drinking, isn't she? Which begs the question, why'd she stop in the first place? See? So that's what's going on. I was at the library for hours yesterday, perfecting, changing, correcting a letter I'd already written that I don't expect anyone to read. Of course I don't. I don't expect anyone to read my 4-page letter. Are you kidding me? 4 typed pages? I don't. Don't care. What matters is that I wrote it. What matters is if anybody even sees it, if they bother to read a part of it or skim it or whatever, they're going to see that what the woman they're viewing is just scum, or I'm not some bum off the street. I know what they're thinking, that I don't drive and I'm in there with my Walkman and my sneakers and whatever. I know what the fuck they're thinking. You know, so you don't do that. That's like discrimination. That's like, I don't know what you call it, but you don't assume that I'm trying to get away with something when there's some kind of policy in place at your store because you don't like the looks of me, or you just are thinking things about me, you know? You don't assume just because I'm poor that I'm just constantly trying to pull one over on your store. I don't appreciate that. And I don't appreciate being slandered and being told by you that you do this all the time when it's apples and oranges. We're not talking about returning bad produce or meat or dairy or whatever, which I haven't done in years, and even then it usually wasn't even under that policy that they periodically have at this store, the double money back guarantee. Like Joe says, they do it to look good, but then the employees don't want you to take advantage of it. That's the bottom line. The store wants to look good with it, and then the employees are going to give you a hard time over it. Or in this case, if they perceive me as being someone who must be taking advantage of it, because after all, I get items free sometimes, you know, enough that people know. So, because probably a lot of people don't even know about that thing where you get it for free. You know, probably a lot of people don't do it. They don't even pay attention if this stuff's ringing up wrong, etc. So I stand out, and they're pissed, and, you know, so now they're going to assume because I'm poor that I must be pulling one over on the store intentionally at all times. That's why he said, you do this all the time. You do this all the time. But I don't do it all the time. I don't do it ever. So what you're referring to is not what we're doing today, okay? It's something entirely different, and you're just extrapolating and thinking that I must be pulling one over on the store constantly because I'm poor and I don't drive and this, that, or whatever. And yeah, that is a form of discrimination. it's a form of acting like and it's awful, awful, awful to do that to somebody. Not unless you have, again, somebody you know is returning products all the time, like every other day or every day or every week or whatever, and all the crap. Meanwhile, getting the free item is perfectly legitimate. It's legitimate. Not my fault things ring up wrong. Not my fault that that thing was put into place in Massachusetts, and other states too have different ones, I found out. And you're supposed to just honor it with a smile. But you think he's the first one that doesn't honor it with a smile, that thing? That isn't pissed that you get an item for free, even like Joe says, it's not coming out of your pocket, it's not your store, you don't own the store, it's not your money. It's unbelievable how these people behave. And you think that's not the first time at this particular store that people haven't behaved that way? Or haven't behaved that way at other stores? It's certain employees. They act like that it's coming out of their pocket, like they own the store, and it's not, they're supposed to just honor it with a smile, period. And they're definitely not supposed to point to that fucking sign and say, because they don't like somebody and they perceive somebody without any evidence or whatever, must be trying to get away with something. It's at our discretion. Oh, Joe was furious at that. I added in the end of my letter was 3 pages. The extra half a page was Joe's take on all this shit. Joe's take on how these people treated me. Both of those men. Not just the one, both.